Hey, what's up, y'all? So, a common question that I get from folks that are new to strength training is, how many days a week should I be doing this? And let's say, you're brand new, you've never done this before, or it's been 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I'm like, hey, let's start with 2 to 3 days per week. And they look at me like I'm crazy because they're thinking 4 days, or more days per week. I'm like, whoa, hold them horses, and let's scale it back a little bit. So I tell them why. Why am I thinking 2 to 3 days per week? Well, one, we need to build those habits, right? 2 to 3 days is pretty reasonable for most people, when you've been doing zero. You ought to be able to carve out enough time for that. Once you can prove to yourself that you can stick to, say 3 days per week, 3 full body training days per week. If you can do that for 3 months, 4 months, then hey, yeah, I think you're doing pretty solid. Let's add in that fourth day and you'll probably be successful with that. But if we start folks with 4 days at once when they've been doing nothing for so long, it's overwhelming. They'll do it for a week, they'll do it for 2 weeks, sometimes a month, sometimes for 6 weeks. But then all of a sudden, they get sick and they miss a day or two, or they're going on vacation, or something with life. Their kids have extra games here and there or whatever. Next thing you know, they're doing 3 days for a couple weeks, and then it falls down to 2 days, and then mentally they're like, I just can't make it. It's just not for me right now. I can't do it. I can't make it happen. And then they fall off, right? Well, I work out 6 days a week, and we have 2 kids, and we run a business. My wife also works full time in another job. We're busy too. I understand that, but we've built this into our life. So that's what you have to do, is you have to learn how to build it into your life. Right? This isn't just something you just jump right into, right? It takes time. It takes time to figure it out. That's why I think it's okay that it takes time to start off with 2 to 3 days. Don't beat yourself up over that. Don't think you're not doing enough. 2 to 3 days, you're already doing more than what you did before, and you're already doing way more than what most people do. So, look at it as a win. I'm already ahead of the game. The other thing isn't even just that mental side of it. It's also, if you jump right in, go all in like that, multiple days per week, 4, 5, 6 days, when you've been doing nothing, most likely you're going to develop some kind of overuse syndrome, a tendonitis here, or, something there, strain. Because your tissues just are not used to that yet. You haven't built up the tissue tolerance, for that volume. So the 2 to 3 days is great because your tendons are getting used to it, your patellar tendon, your triceps tendon, your biceps tendon, everywhere. They also have to develop a tolerance to the exercise, not just your muscles. Everybody thinks about your muscles, but your muscles adapt relatively quickly because they have great blood supply. You break them down when you're exercising, and they build back stronger, within a couple of days. But tendons don't have that blood supply that the muscles do. They have some, but not nearly as vascularized. So it takes them longer. You're going to tear them down. It takes them longer to build back up. So it's nice to have that longer preparatory phase so that then they can handle the increased volume over time. Okay. So those are just a few things I want you to think about. Don't look down upon only doing 2 to 3 days per week. I think 3 days per week is very good for most people, especially then if you're adding in, say a couple of days of cardio as well. Well, that could be 5 days right there of exercise, well-rounded exercise that's going to fit most people's needs.